I'm sitting here with Paul Wawire, a colleague, but Paul has quite a story. He's just about finished with his doctorate, but Paul came to now East University as an Ascari, a night guard, and then he was promoted to a day guard. And he went up through the ranks, and here he is today in the administration, teaching, just about finished with the doctorate, but it's quite a story. And he had a lot of things against him, but Paul overcame them, and we wanted him to share his story with you. So Paul, take it away.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. My name is Paul Wawire. I came to East as a night guard, as Reverend Mark Hayburn has said. And he was a good man. His life, they really, really encouraged me and mentored me. And first of all, I come from a very, very remote part of Kenya. And I come from a polygamous family. And so my life has been full of valleys and mountains, because number one, I was born with physical disabilities. And in my community, if a child is born with physical disability, he's supposed to be thrown away. I thank God for my mother, who was a believer, and she stuck with me. She taught me how to work, she taught me how to live amongst the people, and I was the only child who was physically challenged among 26 children. And so to me, I give God the glory to have given my mother that ability to actually stay with me and teach me how to work. That's why I did not find it difficult when I came to Nairobi to look for work and took on a night guard's work, which I did for about 5 years. 5 years, from 1992 to 1997. Now, how did I come to be a night guard? It's also an interesting story, because having come from a very huge family, I was not able to do my studies properly because of dropping out of school oftenly. I remember the last time I dropped out of school, I stayed home for about 7 to 8 years. Then God remembered me. I went back to school, did my Form 4, but did not make it to university. That's when I came to Nairobi to look for a job. I ended up in East African School of Theology, now KAG East University. The journey wasn't that easy, because I reached a point whereby I thought that was my destiny. Being a night guard was my destiny. But I thank God for men and women of God, like my brother, Mark Hayburn, who were there for me. I thank God for Reverend Jones, who was there for me, and he is the one that introduced me to the issue of Bible school, and he solicited some funds for me to study. I began with a diploma. I did my diploma for 3 years, did my degree here for 2 years, and then I went out and I did my Master of Divinity in Next, and went back to Kenyatta University, where I'm doing my PhD in African Christianity. Now, from that time, when I was doing all that, I was doing working in the stores, as having resigned from the night guard to do studies. I was working as a store man, which I did with all humility, giving people blankets, toilet papers, yeah, and spreading blankets for them. And that gave me an opportunity to really get time to study. As I do that work, I study. And from there, after finishing my MDiv, the administration here looked at my work and they were like, why can't we try him?
Sure. Yes.
And and they tried me in class, and I thank God that God helped me to be the person that they were looking for. And in 2008, I was employed as a full-time faculty. I rose through the ranks as I worked as head of the practical ministry. I also headed internship. I also headed interterm program. Yes, and now I am the spanner boy of the DVCA.
Well, you mentioned you finished Form 4, but you couldn't get in university. However,
yes.
Part of the difficulty here in Kenya for years has been, even if you do well, there's only so many spaces.
Yes.
And that leaves out a lot of people that don't have an opportunity, but it didn't keep you from wanting to go on.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I looked at myself having received Christ and being a believer, going to church, and Mark, out on Sundays, I would get out of my job, wait until service is over, is on, go to the church, and then before I go home to rest, and then come back in the evening. And so it is God who kept me going. Yes. Because even in my primary and secondary levels, I used to drop out, stay home, drop out, stay home, because of lack of school fees. And the drive here was, my mother used to tell me that I am not disadvantaged.
Oh, that's quite...
My mother used to tell me, you are only different. Okay? You are just born different. It's not that these others have advantage over you, but you are just different. And then when I would get very nasty words when I was night guard, people will call me a watchdog. People will call me all those nasty words. Sure. And when I read the Bible tells me something else. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And so when I would read that out, I would get some momentum to go on. I would realize, whoa, I can make it like other people. Sure. That I am unique. I am not those who fail. Okay? So that would really give me going.
And there's another thing that was very important happened to you.
Yes.
You got married. You have children.
Yes. 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 I am married to Evelyn Wafula. And I met Evelyn here while I was working as a night guard. And she was working as a Haskell for Reverend Francis Jones.
I remember.
Yes.
I remember that, yes.
And we met just over here. And at this moment, God has blessed us with 3 children, 1 boy and 2 girls. The firstborn is in university first year. The secondborn is going to Form 4 next year. And then the lastborn has done class 8 this year. He's probably making it to secondary school next year. And you've made me to remember some of the things that were culminating to our wedding. I met some colleagues who would tell me, "Oh, Paul, with your status, I think no decent girl would, yes, no decent girl will get married to you." And and this used to discourage Evelyn so much, to the point that when she would be told like that, she would shy away. Sure. She would really shy away. And even some of her people would tell her, "Oh, you are getting married to somebody who is physically challenged. You will give birth to physically challenged children."
Yes.
And I tell you, every time she would be expectant, it was ministry for me. Mm-hmm. And some other people who are close to us. Sure. To the point that we would continue to encourage her. But every time, it was a surprise from God. Mm-hmm. The children came out very perfect. Very perfect. Because it's not about us, it's about God. It's God who forms children. Sure. Into the womb of their mothers. It's not about the physical disability of the parents or whatever. But I thank God that God has sustained us. God has actually kept us. God has laid a foundation for us. Yes. That we are here, we are because of God and the people who believe in us, like this couple here. We thank God.
One last thing to close.
Yes.
What would you tell people that are facing challenges? What seemingly barriers that would keep them from going forward?
Actually, for people to go forward, I believe that number 1, they should never and never lose their conviction that God is able. Number 2, they should never and never lose their belief. They should always believe in God. They should never stop believing in God. Because it is only God who can give them the thrust forward. Number 3, and the last one that I always love, is that they should never be guilty of envy. Whenever you are envious, it means that you will not be in a position to accept how uniquely God has created you. Your uniqueness will come out strong when you realize that God has formed you fearfully and wonderfully. It doesn't matter where you are.
Good word. Good word.